evening, Spanish Fork. Welcome to Maceys Kitchen Corner. We are here again with Dr. Devika, and welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great, thank you.
Fabulous. Well, what treats do you have for us today?
Today we are going to make some amazing dairy-free vegan clam chowder.
Ooh.
Now, I grew up in Seattle by the waterfront, and one of my favorite things to do is go to Pike Place Market. And right there on the waterfront, it smelled so good. They'd make clam chowder and sourdough bread, and we'd go there and eat it, and it was amazing.
Right.
Now that I'm a nutritionist and a health coach and a nurse practitioner, I know that clam chowder is not that great for you. What's it made out of? It's made out of heavy cream, butter, lots of salt, lots and lots and lots of salt. And so what I wanted to do is figure out how to create that clam chowder experience when you're just sitting down and just like, that is so good, right?
Right.
Recreate that, but make it with a plant-based, dairy-free base. Now, this base also works for you if you really love Alfredo or the creamy-based soups. You can use this same basic recipe to do lots of dairy-free substitutions for pasta sauce and soups and that kind of stuff. So keep in mind that this can be very flexible. Now we're going to make a clam chowder. It's going to have clams and bacon in it. If you're a vegan or if you're trying to stay away from animal products, you can turn this into a creamy broccoli soup. Leave the clams and bacon out, add some broccoli, and voila, you've transformed this into a vegan meal. So whether you're vegan or paleo or whatever diet you follow, you can totally use this to increase the amount of vegetables in your diet, increase the amount of cruciferous, sulfur-containing vegetables, and totally improve your health and kick the dairy. Dairy causes so many health problems, and that's what we're going to do here. So let's talk about what we're going to use as a base. Regular clam chowder, cream and butter. Instead of that, we're going to use some really yummy and nutrient-dense white vegetables. We're going to use some cauliflower. We're going to use some white sweet potatoes. Now, sweet potatoes can be orange or white.
Right.
We call the orange ones yams. These are white sweet potatoes. We're going to use some sweet onion. If you get just regular yellow onions, they're going to be very, they're going to make you cry. They're very potent, right? The sweet onions don't have that bite to them, and they're a lot easier on the eyes and easier on the tongue if you're not a big fan of onions. Okay, so that's what we're going to make the base with. And we're going to make it nice and creamy with cashews. Now, cashews are really high in minerals and vitamins, and they help to give things a creamy, milky texture without having the dairy in it. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to do is you just take your cauliflower and you chop it up, you just break it with your hands into little pieces and stick it in a pot, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like when you're done. You just throw it in a pot with like an inch of water, turn it on, let that steam for 5 to 7 minutes, and as soon as it's soft enough that you can poke it with a fork, it's done. And then you drain the water off and you leave the cauliflower nice and hot. You want all the ingredients to be really, really hot when you're doing it, because this is a blender soup. The next thing you want to do is take your sweet potatoes, chopped up into little tiny squares, your onions, carrot, and celery, and we're going to put these in a skillet like this. So all 4 things are in there just in quarters with half an inch of water in the bottom. Put the lid on, steam those until you can pierce them with a fork and they're just barely fork tender. You don't want to overcook them. Overcooking ruins the nutrition, and it also ruins the flavor and it ruins the texture. So just cook them long enough until they get really bright and you can barely poke them with a fork, and then they're done. And actually, you're not going to put water in this. What you're going to do is you're going to pour the clam juice. We have a can of wild caught clams here, and instead of water, we pour the clam juice, not the clams, just the clam juice in here, and that's what we steam these with, is the clam juice. Now, clams get really rubbery and really hard to chew if you cook them too much, so you only want to throw the clams in at the end, right before you eat the soup. So the juice goes in there, it helps to steam the vegetables, and it also saves the clams from being cooked too much. Okay, so let's take all these things out of the way, and all we've done is put them in the pots and steam them, and we'll move on to the next portion of our recipe. Yeah.
Wow. Looks looks like it's all done.
Okay, so now that the cauliflower is steamed and the vegetables are cooked in the clam juice,
Right.
we're just gonna take this lid off and I'm gonna show you how to make a really great cream soup base. Now this can be used for Alfredo or cream soups, whatever you want, and it's super easy. Now if these are hot, right when you put them in the blender, the soup will be ready to eat immediately and you don't even have to reheat it. So what we're gonna do is fill up the blender maybe 2/3 full with the cauliflower. Now, while you're doing that, I want to talk about high-speed blenders. I use a Vitamix, which is my high-speed blender of choice. If you have a regular blender, this is going to work, but it won't make it as creamy, it won't make it as smooth, and your blender may be laboring under the toil of all of these vegetables. So if you're really serious about your health and if you're serious about making plant-based, dairy-free, healthy meals for yourself, I would say that getting a high-speed or a high-powered blender is one of the best investments in your health that you can make. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put half of the potatoes and half of the onions in there. We still want some texture in the soup, and we still want to have a nice mouthfeel to it, and regular clam chowder has chunks of potatoes in it, so just put in enough potatoes. What it's going to do is the sweet potato makes the soup really creamy, and also when you use milk, it's got lactose in it. Lactose is the milk sugar and it makes milk taste really sweet, especially when you heat it up. So the potatoes kind of fool your taste buds into thinking that you have a milk product here because it's creamy and it's got that sweetness from the potato that makes you think, oh, this could be lactose, right? So I've fed this clam chowder to so many people, and some people don't even have a clue that it's made of cauliflower and sweet potatoes. They think it's made out of dairy. All right, so in this we've got all of our white things that are going to make the white soup base. We're going to pour in the rest of the clam juice here.
Oh, do you want to use this one?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, the rest of the clam juice. Then, in addition, we're going to put in some cashews. Now, the cashews need to be soaked overnight, and what that does is it makes them really soft, and then when you blend them, it makes them super easy to make the dish really creamy. So I'm going to put in about a half a cup of raw whole cashews that have been soaked. We're also going to add some nutritional yeast. Now this has a lot of B vitamins in it, and when you're making dairy-free things that you're trying to make taste cheesy, the nutritional yeast really kind of brings out that cheese flavor or the cream flavor in things. So we're just going to put in like a teaspoon of nutritional yeast. We can put more in later if we want. Then we're going to put in some vegetable broth. Now, be very careful with vegetable broths.
So you can't buy anything?
You can't just buy anything. Most of the time, vegetable broths have a base of hydrogenated oil or other highly processed vegetable oils. They have MSG and they have highly refined salt. And so a lot of people get headaches after they eat bouillon because of the MSG and all the chemicals that are in there. So what you want to do is make sure you get a really clean bouillon. This brand is called Seitenbacher, Seitenbacher. And I've searched high and low in every store on the internet, and this is the cleanest brand of vegetable bouillon that I can find. And it tastes exactly like chicken bouillon. It's amazing. Listen to the ingredients here, okay? The only thing that's in here is nutritional yeast, carrots, onion, turmeric root, which is an herb, parsley, leek, nutmeg, garlic, lavage, celery, pepper, balm, dill, paprika, rosemary, and mustard. So it's just herbs. It's very, very good for you, and herbs are very healing. So not only does it taste amazing, but it doesn't have all that bad stuff in it that's going to make you feel yucky and be bad for your health.
I bet it's low in salt.
Yeah, very low in salt. Tiny bit of salt in there, and that's it. So what we're going to do is put maybe 2 tablespoons in to start out, and then we'll taste it a little bit later and see how it tastes. Can you grab that water for me? Thanks. The next thing we're going to put in is just a little bit of black pepper. I love the taste of black pepper when there's a creamy base to something. So we're going to put a tiny bit of black pepper in there. We're going to put 1 clove of garlic. This is if you don't know what this is, it's a garlic crusher, and it minces your garlic for you. Love this thing. So you just crush the clove of garlic like that. Now, I really love putting a little bit of butter in here just because without the butter, it's delicious. But when you just put a tablespoon or two of butter in there, then it really tricks you into thinking, oh, I'm eating a bowl of heavy cream, right? So I like to put just a little tiny bit of Kerrygold butter. Now, this is organic grass-fed butter. This isn't just cheap butter. This is the highest quality butter you can buy. And I like to just put in a tablespoon or two of butter. But this is totally optional, okay? This just improves the wow factor for me, but you can totally leave it out and this recipe will still work. Then put in water. This is filtered water, not just tap water. And you just put in enough water until it's about half full. And you'll learn, when you're using a high-powered blender, you need a certain amount of liquid to pull everything down into the blades. So you'll learn how that goes. And then this is going to turn into an amazing cream soup base. Do you believe it?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Can you believe I'm going to transform cauliflower and onions and cashews into a cream soup base?
Yes.
Wait for the magic to happen. Here we go. Hang on. Yummy.
Wow, that looks absolutely delicious.
Okay, now I don't know if you saw, I'm not sure how much is going to get cut out of here, but as this was blending, we probably blended it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah. And what you want to do is watch it transform from kind of chunky, gritty cauliflower texture to smooth, creamy dairy texture. And as soon as it gets all creamy and smooth, then you know it's ready to stop blending. Now, as it was blending, I added a little extra water. I tasted it and added a little bit of extra salt. So just kind of taste it as you're blending it, and you'll know. Your intuition will tell you if it needs to be a little saltier, or if you need a little more vegetable broth, or if you need a little more pepper. So just taste it and ask yourself what else it needs, and you'll be able to figure this out. Now, what we have here is, look at this. Do you see how creamy that is and luscious? This is made from cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables help you fight cancer. They help you lower your blood pressure. They help your cells to be able to detoxify. They help your liver detoxify. So not only are we getting rid of the bad stuff, which is the dairy and that kind of stuff, but we are filling our bodies up with vegetables and produce and ingredients that are actually going to heal us and make us superhuman superpowers, okay? So what we're going to do with this cream base now, if you want clam chowder, watch the rest of the show and we'll show you how to do it. But if you don't want clam chowder, all you need to do is steam some broccoli, take this base, put it with some chopped up steamed broccoli, and it's amazing creamy broccoli soup. Go ahead and give it a taste. Tell me what you think. If you didn't know this was non-dairy, what would you think? Just go ahead and take a taste and tell me.
Oh my goodness. Cannot tell the difference.
Does it taste like dairy too?
Really does.
Okay, what's the wow factor when you eat it? How satisfying is it?
Fabulous.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, so it has all the flavors and
Texture.
Again, texture.
And mouthfeel.
Yeah.
So the point here is we want you to say wow when you eat
Wow.
this. And we want you to not know that you're not eating the junk food, okay? We want it to give you the same experience as junk food without knowing. So you could totally trick your family into eating cauliflower.
I'm going to go home and make it.
All right, so we're just going to pour this in the pot. And again, you can make creamy broccoli soup out of this. You could turn this into an Alfredo sauce to put over pasta by putting a little bit of nutmeg in there and a little extra salt, and then you've got a creamy Alfredo sauce. There's a lot of different directions this recipe could go. But for today, when we're doing the clam chowder, what we're going to do is we're going to put in the clams. And we're going to throw in a little bacon. Now this bacon is not just any bacon. Most bacon is pretty bad for you. This bacon is up on the green end of the spectrum, and if you've watched many of my shows, you'll know that we get the highest quality food we can possibly get. So this bacon comes from organic pigs that were raised in a pasture, okay? So pasture-raised organic pigs, and it doesn't have any nitrates or nitrites in it. So we get this from the health food store, and normally bacon has lots of preservatives that are highly toxic and they make people feel gross, and they also increase your cancer risk. So if you're going to use bacon, make sure it's the highest quality bacon you can possibly use. Make sure it's nitrate and nitrite free. If you can get it organic, that's even better. If you can't get high quality bacon, don't use it, okay? So we're just gonna throw in, I think there's like a half a cup of bacon in there. And this is pre-cooked, and with the bacon, it's totally optional, but if you put in the bacon and then leave it overnight, the bacon infuses into everything and it makes it taste a lot better. So we're just gonna do that, and then actually we're gonna add in the potato chunks and the onion chunks now, and the carrot and celery.
Right.
All right, after the clams and the bacon, then we're going to put in the rest of the vegetables. Now, when you have a nice bowl of clam chowder, it usually has celery, carrots, potato chunks in there, and that's what we're going to do with the rest of these vegetables that we cooked earlier. Have some nice potato chunks in there. The sweet potatoes are full of minerals, and they're what we call a slow-burning carbohydrate. So that means they don't spike your blood sugar like regular potatoes do. And the onions are going to make this nice and savory. The carrots are going to give it some flavor. Celery has lots of good mineral content in there. And you've just got the clam juice down at the bottom, so you can just dump the rest of the, pour the whole rest of the thing in there. I didn't want it to splash too much. There we go. And we're done. Then we're gonna just give this baby a stir. And do you see how white that is? It looks like dairy. It smells like dairy. It tastes like dairy. Now look at how amazing.
And the colors are amazing as well. I mean,
all of those colors are your antioxidants. They're all the good things that help your cells to regenerate and to detoxify. Now look at that and tell me if you can tell the difference between that and regular clam chowder. All right, let's get a bowl and dish it up.
now we're ready.
Are you ready to taste this?
I am.
All right, ladle this up. Now this, what I love to do is feed this to people that don't know that it's dairy-free, and then ask them later how they like it. Now when you do this, after you're done putting everything together and incorporating everything, check it to make sure, taste it, make sure that it has enough pepper in it, just according to your taste. Make sure it's salty enough. Make sure it's got enough broth in it, so you just want to taste it and see how is this working with your personal taste buds. You can put a little more garlic in it. If you want it to taste a little cheesier, you can put more nutritional yeast in it. And then when I do it, I garnish it with a little bit of green onion. Look at the beautiful color that puts on there. And I garnish it with a little tiny bit of red pepper. And that gives it some beautiful color. It gives it a little bit of spice, but not too much. And you can also put a little bit of black pepper on there if you like as well. So here is our vegan, not vegan, sorry. Here's our plant-based clam chowder that's dairy-free and nutrient-dense, full of lots of vegetables and sulfur-containing vegetables that are amazing for your health. And it doesn't have any of that bad stuff in it that normal clam chowder has in it. Let's give it a try. Close your eyes and imagine you're on the waterfront in Seattle. That's amazing.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Fabulous. I know I use that word fabulous, but this really is. It's very good.
Try it out for your family. They'll be fooled too. Cheers.
Yes. Cheers.